Hello and welcome to the One About Podcast, the show where we celebrate the creepy and macabre each week. This week we're kicking off our month of Halloween themed shows with a stone cold classic. This is the one about House on Haunted Hill. I'm your host Dean. I also go by EndlessCola in places around the internet, and I am joined this week, as always, by the hilariously creepy Jordan and the too spoopy for comfort John. What's going on, guys?
So, I kind of wanted to applaud you on how good you are at doing that beginning announcing segment. I would stutter and mess up so much of that if I tried to do that myself.
He's been like, consistent for
legit.
For
he's
now.
like almost at the level of the guy from Movie Phone. The Movie Phone announcements. You know what I'm talking about.
I just think Seinfeld whenever he had Movie Phone.
I honestly don't even know what you're talking about. I got so distracted by Movie Phone that I forgot. I didn't even hear the rest of what you had to say.
Jesus.
Cool. Let's go. Great.
What the fuck is this thing? This thing is gross. Sorry, I was reading the latest on Attack on Titan right now.
Bro, are you drunk? What the
I am not drunk. I just saw some sort of disgusting skeleton with slash hair, and it's running around through a desolate wasteland and killing everything. Spoilers.
I see. So, what have you guys been up to this week?
Chilling. What video games have I been playing? I've been playing Star Wars Squadrons.
Oh, you actually bought it?
I've been playing it for a number of hours. It is a hard flight sim. Well, I can't even say that. It's not a hard flight sim because you're not dealing with 50 million in-flight programs and buttons. But the controls for it are definitely more advanced than I'm used to. It is the most advanced flight sim that I've played. However, once you get used to it and balancing the different balancing the levels of the shields versus your engines and your firepower or lasers, once you start to get used to flipping that around and doing half turns and adjusting thrust and locking on and all the different components and sub weapons and enhancements that you can put on your craft and all the customization, it's a little overwhelming at first, but once you get your head around it, it's actually super awesome, super dope, and I have a lot of fun with it.
As long as it's better than that Wii U version of Star Fox, I think it's got to be pretty good.
I think it's a little better than that, maybe.
Little?
If I had to stretch, no, it's a lot better, of course.
Give it more credit than that. Holy shit.
No, it is awesome. It's a lot of fun, and it's definitely worth the money. $40 is a perfect price point for it. Not a AAA title. It doesn't have AAA content associated with it, but if you wanted to have a really good romp, a fun space shooter, some awesome Star Wars content, and actually some good characterization with a very short single player campaign, then it's definitely worth it. I think 40 is right on the nose for how much this game is worth. So definitely recommend that. And I've been playing a lot of Among Us because Among Us is a blast.
Yes.
Freaking blast.
What about you, John?
Honestly, work, planning for this wedding and our honeymoon, and trying to make sure my daughter doesn't do anything insane since she's getting into everything.
You don't just put her in a room full of light sockets with pennies and see what happens?
No, but she might have fun with that. She dude, I literally stand over her and there's the fan where she can put her fingers through, and I literally stand there and smack her hand every time she touches it. Smack, smack, smack. Looks up at me and's reaching for it as she's crying, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. You gotta learn sometime.
Kids don't care, man.
I've noticed.
Can't relate.
So I decided this week that, and I was talking to you about this, John, that I was going to try out AMC Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because they bundle in Shudder with it. And for those of you who don't know, Shudder is this horror movie, TV show, like horror media centric streaming service. And, it's Halloween month. Why not give that a shot, right? Like, I love horror. Let's see what it's all about. Spoilers, it's not really worth it, at least to me, but there's some great stuff on AMC and on Shudder. And I started watching this documentary, which I really wish I had the title ready to go for. It's called 78 over 52. Which sounds like a Kingdom Hearts title when I say it out loud. But it's about the shower scene from Psycho. Only that one scene. It's
Cool.
an hour and a half documentary about one scene.
Wow.
I mean, from the original Psycho, that one scene was like traumatic back then, and got the film, I believe, banned in a lot of places, right?
There's so many things about that movie that are just incredible. And were totally groundbreaking for the time. But to hear, because they get like all kinds of people in on this movie. Like you hear from Guillermo del Toro, Eli Roth, Elijah Wood for some reason, Danny Elfman, and of course Jamie Lee Curtis, because like you can't have a documentary about Psycho without bringing Jamie Lee Curtis in at this point.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with that statement, 100%.
I mean, why do you say it like that?
Just saying, Jamie Lee Curtis is horror royalty. Anything horror related, she must be involved. Point blank, full stop.
Yeah, but you understand why she was included. Like, it's not because she's a horror icon.
No, there's no other reason. She's a horror icon. That's it.
So Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter of Janet Leigh, who was the star of that first part in the shower scene.
Doesn't matter.
I reject your reality and
substitute my own.
Holds no bearing or sway.
Anyway, God, I hate you so much. Oh my God. But yeah, like it's that documentary actually like opened up my eyes to how crazy that shot actually is. Like the whole shot is like, I don't know, 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes long. But the intricacy that goes into that, making that shot and making it what it is and how iconic it is insane. And they also talk about how insane Alfred Hitchcock was as a human being. So that's always
awesome.
Really?
Dude, it's funny because like this is back in oh shit, when did Psycho come out? I want to say it was, I should probably guess before I just look it up, right? I want to say it was 1958. Let's see. Psycho 1960. Shit. But it's close. But like back then it was weird to do things like show a toilet on film.
What?
Which is, yeah, I know. Like you wouldn't really think about that nowadays, right? Like it's a non-issue, but back then it wasn't like a normal thing. It also wasn't normal for people to like walk into a movie at the movie theater on time and stay there the whole time. They would just like come and go whenever they felt like it. Who gave a shit?
What?
Yeah, because like movies back then were just throwaway entertainment. Nobody gave a shit about movies. They weren't making like, I mean, they did make Stone Cold classics, but like they just weren't treated the same. So people would come to a movie in the middle of the fucking movie, then like, I'm gonna get like 20 minutes out of this movie. And then who cares?
Jesus.
It's 2 cents to watch a movie. Nobody cares.
Can't do it.
Such a
I
weird
can't believe
concept.
that.
I
Yeah.
know. So when this movie came out, Janet Leigh was like a big actress at the time. So the fact that she dies like not even a third of the way into this movie, and the entire intro is all about this character that you get like emotionally invested in. He didn't want anybody to just like spoil that, a la Empire Strikes Back. So he put up signs, he instructed all the theaters, and he even came over like the loudspeakers in the theater saying like, once you go in, if you leave, you cannot come back. Nobody else is coming in once the movie starts. Like, that's it. And people
Wow.
were like taken aback by that. They were like, what the fuck do you mean? Like,
You're
how
trapped in here.
yeah, like how am I supposed to go to the bathroom, jerk off for 5 minutes, and then come back to the movie? I can't do that anymore. What are you talking about?
Shit. Wow. So many other ways you could have done that, but
Oh,
go on.
The culture was really different back then. Wow.
Was it?
Creepy.
No, but for real, like that's so Alfred Hitchcock is, infamous for those kinds of things. He changed how we consider film, much less horror films and things like that. Like famously, in his movie The Birds, they never explain why the birds just start attacking people. And his theory on that was always like, that's life, dude. Like sometimes shit happens.
Oh my god.
Which is like frustrating as a moviegoer, but also it's genius, right? Like, because he's right. Like sometimes shit just happens, and we have no explanation for why it happens. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, there are some things that we have yet to explain, even with the amassed knowledge that we've come to get this far, and the technological advances to actually study things that we never thought we were able to.
Yep.
Hmm.
So anyway, I highly recommend it. 78 over 52, which apparently is called that because that one scene was composed of 78 setups and 52 cuts, which is
Jesus.
also insane. They were
Yeah.
they're saying at one point during the documentary that he was cutting to a different scene, like not a different scene, but like he had a cut every like half a second. And
Jeez.
yeah, it was intense, but like that documentary is really cool. If you have any interest in filmmaking or horror or just psycho, like that documentary is top tier.
That
But
sounds amazing. Like
I'm telling you, dude,
just paying homage to Hitchcock and his dedication to the craft.
there was nobody more dedicated to the craft than Hitchcock. Like he was the Tarantino of his age, except better and more iconic. But
I
and
watch
that's no knock to Tarantino. He is my favorite current filmmaker, but I mean, like,
I get it.
Hitchcock.
It's Hitchcock. You can't. You just can't.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jordan?
growing up and also recently too, because now it's on Hulu. I used to watch Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Yes.
It's kind of like I mean, of course, it's closely related to Twilight Zone. It's the same thing as Twilight Zone. It's just the stories seem to be a little more grounded, right? Twilight Zone
Mm-hmm.
kind of did whatever, but a lot of these are just around a lot of Hitchcock stories were human error or more like around murder or things like that. And he's such a wacky, and like in that show, he's such a wacky and memorable host of that show. Just he's so witty. He's got so much character to him for doing so little. He's just such an icon, and I have very fond memories watching Alfred Hitchcock Presents as a child, and now rewatching it too whenever I see my mother watching it on Hulu. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend seeing that.
Speaking of how quirky he is, at one point in the documentary, they're talking about how like Janet Leigh was like naked in the shower, obviously. Um, except that she had this like I forget what she called it, but it was a covering for her crotch, right?
Uh-huh.
But because she's getting pounded by water because she's in a real shower, it kept like peeling off and falling off. And at one point, she was just like, "Fuck it, Alfred, can I just like take it off, man? Like, forget it. Like, I'll just go naked." And he's like, "No, no, no, no." She's like, "Okay."
Keep it on.
Yeah, dude, he's just like a weird guy.
Yeah.
But you can't question his dedication to the craft for sure.
Yeah. Gotta love us some Hitchcock.
Dude, Hitchcock is a film lover's director, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's the definition of an auteur.
Yeah.
But,
Done a lot of
gentlemen,
film.
we yeah, he does. We watched a totally different film this week. Released on February 17th, 1959, about a year and a half before Psycho. House on Haunted Hill is a spoof of the haunted house genre. And I gotta ask, man, so for you listeners out there, what we decided to do this month is we're each gonna take a week and choose a horror movie wrapped around classics, modern horror, something to be disclosed for our third episode. And Jordan, you took classic films for the first week. I gotta ask, man, why House on Haunted Hill?
So I was first introduced to this in high school. I had a lot of theater and drama friends, and when you're a teenager when you're a teenager and you're into theater and drama, you're bound to know somebody that's like, "Oh, modern films are trash, dude. The old horrors are the only way to go." It like has that kind of mantra about them. And one person that I knew that was like that threw bitch and Halloween parties, awesome Halloween parties. And this movie was actually on during a Halloween party.
Mm,
So we just watched it, and I remember it just sticking out to me. Like I just always known about this movie. I loved it when I watched it back when I was in high school, and it's not the best horror movie of its generation by far, of course. 1959 is coming right up to Psycho. Psycho is a far superior movie, but I think Vincent Price brings a lot of charm. I love the casting. It's almost a spoof of the Dark House kind of
it is.
genre,
Yeah, it's
right?
supposed to be.
It really, yeah. But it's just such a great movie, and I just wanted to watch it again. I wanted an excuse to watch it again, really. So that's why I picked it.
Much respect. John, have you ever seen this
Mhm.
movie before? We watched this week?
No, I have never seen this movie before. I remember excerpts and bits and pieces of the dialogue of the movie, but I've never actually sat down and watched this movie.
I kind of suspected that. And before you gave that explanation, Jordan, I would have bet up and down that you just pulled this movie out of your ass. Because, like, I bet you, like, if you went to 1,000 people and asked them to pick a classic horror movie, they would have never picked that. Like, none of them would have picked this movie.
Oh, there's 30 other ones that I would have picked, like any Dracula movie or any Wolfman, Frankenstein, and like any of the like the Universal Pictures like golden age of horror, right? Those were all good choices, but I wanted something a little bit different. So, and like I said, I haven't seen this in a long time. I wanted to rewatch it, so I leveraged this opportunity.
I respect that. John, I gotta ask, man. First of all, did you know that this movie was supposed to be kind of a spoof on this genre of film? And if you did or didn't, what did you think?
Um, I did not going into it. I was expecting like some sort of phantasms or ghouls or some sort of devil-like machinations going on, and none of that happened, so it totally caught me off guard. I enjoyed it. Because after, I think it was like a third of the way in, I realized that this is more of a whodunit / murder mystery. And I was like, okay, so what's the grand scheme here? How is this going to play out? Like, who's going to come out on top? And it was a pretty enjoyable ride. I liked it.
I gotta say, at one point I wrote down, because I forgot kind of how this movie plays out. I remember like the broad strokes of it, but I wrote down at one point like, look, man, are there ghosts in this movie or not? Because like even at the very end, like it's not super clear. Like they make it seem clear, but also there are things that like just don't add up, even with their explanation. Like how she's floating outside of the window, like that doesn't make any sense. How does she do the thing with the rope around her legs? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm sitting there like, are there ghosts in this house? But
I mean,
but I think that
if you listen to Watson,
I think that and then you have that guy who,
especially at the end,
whole movie is like telling you how there's ghosts everywhere. There's the blood that comes out of that dry spot on the ceiling twice.
Yeah.
I love
it, like, follows.
Dude, I loved how the first time it happens, she just kind of looks at it, and I'm like, "You're not fazed by this at all."
Yeah,
like,
she just nonchalant. It's like, "Oh, that's blood. Should I wipe it off?" No, I'm gonna leave it there. That's fine.
Whatever. We didn't really have
blood
concern
again?
for STDs or anything, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, it wasn't her first haunted house.
It wouldn't be her last.
I've been around a rodeo or two. But I think the ambiguousness of whether or not the house is actually haunted works to this movie's benefit quite a bit. Because the whole movie, you're sitting there like, oh, there's some spooky shit going on. Maybe there's not some spooky shit going on.
Actually, they explained everything, but did they explain the blood?
No.
Yeah, they explained where the blood is coming from. Oh, you're talking about... No, they did not. Like,
no, I don't think they explained the blood, did they?
I don't think they adequately explain the floating outside the window and the rope thing either. Like they do, but like it's not an adequate.
Yeah, you're right.
Their explanation doesn't make any fucking sense.
Exactly. Like for everything that happens, like maybe her floating outside, but not like the strobe lighty effects, like that kind of thing.
She had the harness. Yeah. I think that was just supposed to be like her going insane, because at that point she was so shocked. And
no,
I mean her lungs must have hurt.
No, it's not, because when
well, like the rope is going around her legs slowly and all that stuff.
I know, but when he goes and wakes her up from her not dead resting place on the bed, they talk about how she was outside the window. So like they did that too. They just don't explain how they did it. Because
no, that part specifically, but I'm talking about the rope and the lights and everything. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it was, of course it's embellished, right? Sure. But it's also trying to emphasize the fact that she's
hysterical,
going manic, and won't stop screaming, "Oh my god!" the entire movie.
And like I love the fact like
so much screaming.
You get taken back to that time and that era of like blatant misogyny. Like it's like, yeah, we're in a haunted house and this guy's giving us guns and like this place is creepy, but she's hysterical. She's mass hysteria.
Guns in the coffin for everybody.
Mass hysteria. I was like, okay, that's the only excuse this doctor knows.
I feel like her casting call was, okay, and go ahead and scream for me. Perfect. You're hired. Like that was pretty much all that they needed to hire her.
Question: did you guys watch the original black and white or the colorized version?
Colorized version.
Yeah, I watched the one on Amazon. I didn't watch the black and white one.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the colorized version.
Did you find? Okay.
I mean, okay. I found it, but I've seen the black and white one before, so I wanted to watch the colorized version.
That's where I watched it originally too. Was the black and white?
Does it affect the viewing experience at all, or?
I would say
I'm
yes.
sure there's
um,
there's probably an argument to be made that its intention was supposed to be black and white.
yeah, I mean, like for
I
me,
mean, it
it's
was
like, can you imagine if you watched Psycho colorized and like when the blood is draining down the sink or the bathtub in the shower scene, it's brown because it's actually Hershey's chocolate syrup. Like it's just kind of ruins the effect, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah.
I was actually
Yeah.
thinking about that when the blood dropped on her hand. I was like, that's a little blackish to be blood. I don't.
yeah, I don't know how they did the effects in this movie, but that's a classic Hollywood how do they do the special effect with Psycho. Um no, I mean, like, I don't think that to more directly answer your question, I don't think that watching this movie colorized has a significant change on the film itself. I just think that for me personally, there's something to be said about watching a movie that was shot in black and white versus colorization doesn't work for me. That's what I'm
Okay.
really getting at.
All
Because
right.
like skin tones and things, they're not natural when you watch something that's colorized. And for me, it takes me out of it. I would rather just watch it in black and white.
Okay.
I think if I could have found it in black and white, now given I didn't really look that hard, I would have definitely chose black and white over color.
Mm.
I don't know if Amazon had an option. I don't remember there being one. I think it was just in color was the prime one, and I wasn't going to pay for this. I wanted to stream it.
I don't like this
I
movie
got very
that
lucky.
much.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how lucky I got thinking of this movie and then finding it on Prime. Like that's rare.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I got very
Prime
lucky.
Video's pretty good these days, man.
It is, and then they have options to rent, things that you want to watch anyway,
Yep.
right? So, and usually their prices to rent aren't really that bad. So, you hear that, Twitch? Pay us.
Jesus.
Oh
Pandering
my
to
God.
the stream
Terrible.
gods.
Absolutely terrible, dude.
Schindler's List wasn't color. Fuck that person.
So I did send it to you guys when I started watching this movie because I forgot so much of this movie. Like I only remember the broad strokes, really.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first started watching the movie and they had the floating heads doing the exposition, I was like, "Oh yeah, now I remember this movie. I'm
Yeah.
all in. I am all in on this."
And like in the first 15 seconds, it's just a black screen with a woman screaming
Woman
and different sound effects and
ghost
stuff.
and ghoul moaning noises, chains on the ground,
Love it.
chains rattling.
Get you right.
Yeah.
Like get you right in that spooky mood.
It's so campy. I love it. I love it.
Super good.
And for the record, they definitely have the black and white version on Prime.
They do?
He just said you suck, Jordan. You suck.
All right. Well, I experienced it in a new way, and I will go back and watch the black and white if I ever do.
And I think there's something to be said for that, like there's some movies I'm trying to think, but like I own one movie. Oh, you know what it is? It's a movie that I watch every single year for Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. And the Blu-ray copy that I bought came with a colorized version. So sometimes, like after 4 or 5 years, I'll be like, you know what? Let's just watch the colorized version. Fuck it. And I always regret it, but
but you still
do it. Like it's just a different way to experience a movie that I've seen 300,000 times.
Something that I think would have worked better if it was just black and white and not colorized was the acid. Because the acid was clearly just water that was like the color was just changed in post to look a little bluish green. But of course, in black and white, they wouldn't have to worry about any of that. They just need bubbles to come up and a fake rat skeleton to be there, right? So they had to work a lot harder to colorize that specific part. And maybe the blood too, depending on if they had used like Hershey's or something like that.
That's one thing that I would say does typically, for me, work better in black and white films is like when you have something that's clearly fake, like the rat skeleton, it's harder to tell when it's in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just blown away, like when he was explaining to the guests like everybody that lived there prior and how they died, and just like, oh yeah, he was really into wine. His wife didn't like him, so he has a cellar with a vat of acid. Like what?
Bro, I love that so
there.
much, dude. He's like, "What did you say about my wine? Get in the acid bin."
And I'm just like,
who does
it's
that?
like, okay, wait. I'm literally thinking, I was like, does acid have anything to do with the wine making process? Is there a reason why he would have this vat of acid? Just no. He really hated his wife and thought of the most horrible way that he could kill her. That was it.
He was so specific too. Like there were, I think he said there were 7 ghosts.
Mm-hmm. Now they're 9. Yeah.
Yeah,
4 men
exactly.
and 3 women.
Yes, yeah, and then the party that was invited was, of course, 4 men, 3 women. They mentioned that specifically. Oh, but it's the wife's party. Don't forget.
Oh my god,
it's the wife's party.
Sure also that love everybody knows it's the wife's party.
It's my damn wife's party.
I also love how he's like, I invited everyone from a psychologist to a typist, a drunk to a jet pilot. And I was like, wait, what? A drunk? Is that an occupation now? In 1959, you could just be a professional drunk.
I mean, basically, yeah. But one thing I thought that made this movie shine is the fact that it was submersive of like what we were expecting. Like, I don't know if it was due to like the times that we grew up and the movies that we grew up in this genre, to where it was just like, oh shit. Like, even if you knew from the onset that it was murder mystery whodunit, at the end of the day, it's just like, wait, all of these don't have a connection. Like, all of these don't have a meaning, but we were expecting them to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what I mentioned with the Hitchcock thing. Like, not everything needs to be explained, you know?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to mention, though, like, it was the first thing when I was watching the movie, and I was like, wait, what? When they were in the basement and they go to the acid bath or whatever, and they were like, is that real acid down there? He just turns around like, oh, well, let me just pull out this rat carcass that happens to be right here.
He just finds it under a chair.
I was like, you have serious rat problems if you can just turn around 3 seconds and find a gigantic dead rat.
You're always confident that you're within 10 feet of a dead rat, right? There's just always that knowledge.
Oh my god. Oh, so I gotta ask, gentlemen, if you were given $10,000 to stay in a haunted house, would you do it?
Without question.
Without question. I didn't even have to bring in inflation for you.
Nope.
I think, and Dean, correct me if you already have the number. I think the inflation's around 80,000 now.
It's about 90.
Okay, there we go. So, would I stay in a haunted house for $90,000? But if it was someone that I didn't know, these people got a phone call, a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
Random, oh, hey, some person just sent me a letter that wants me to go here and he'll give me money to stay in this house. Absolutely. Why haven't I thought of this earlier? No. If it was someone I had no idea who it was, we're so conditioned to deal with scams and people trying to take advantage of every lapse in judgment that you have, right? I get so many spam calls on my freaking phone and my work phone constantly all day. Spam emails, pills that'll make everything on my body larger. Constantly.
We don't know what that means.
I am constantly inundated with this kind of stuff. So if it was from a random person, fuck no. Absolutely not. Hardcore no. If it was from someone that I knew. So if you were a rich philanthropist and I still had good relations with you and you were like, hey, there's this haunted house it had 7 dead people in it. It's super haunted. I'll give you 10 grand if you stay in this house. I'd be like, hell yeah. Throw me in that house.
Even if I was like, I cannot guarantee you're going to survive until tomorrow.
That's why I bring up the good relations. Like, can I trust that you're not going to try to murder me? He
makes a hard point of that all movie long. We may not make it through this, man.
It's
Well,
like some of y'all are gonna die.
he had all this shit planned out. He had everything planned out. He knew what, like he was was 3 levels ahead of everybody else. They were all just
yeah, dude.
actors.
They were actors. His wife was playing checkers. This dude is playing 3D chess.
Yeah, straight up.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, he was 2 steps ahead of everyone. So for him, the people that needed to die were the exact people he needed to die, right? Because I think it's a really low body count in this movie. I think 2 people die, or
Only 2.
Yeah, I think the wife and the lover are the only 2 people that die, right?
This was the most surgical execution possible. Like
Palpatine level.
Yeah, he's straight up Palpatine.
Without the good luck.
Hey, there's a little bit of good luck involved in this too. He takes some calculated risks.
The
biggest
he does, man.
He really doesn't. Like
the biggest calculated risk is his whole plan is contingent on this random receptionist girl that he works with going insane. If she had a little more mental fortitude and could deal with this stuff without going manic, then all this shit's done. It's all thrown out the window. So,
but that was their plan. That wasn't his.
No,
plan.
He knew their plan though. Like he was on top of that too.
Yeah, but if their plan doesn't work, then it's irrelevant. Like his plan doesn't fall apart because his plan wasn't necessarily to murder them in the first place. He killed them in self-defense.
Technically, yeah. Like at least the lover he killed in self-defense. But
I wish we would have seen that too.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been so much better. I mean, we saw old girl like she. Did you see the cut where where the skeletons come closer to her and like it cuts to her behind her foot and she almost slips in? Then it cuts to the skeleton and then she's like firmly standing there and then it pushes her in.
Unconvincing fall into a vat of acid I've ever seen in my entire life.
Dude, I was watching that scene. I was like, hold on. You got to the edge of this acid, managed to not fall in, but you're just going to stand there and scream while it comes closer to shove you in?
Like the
just move out of the way.
Skeleton, yeah.
Dude, it was like that scene from Austin Powers. He's just, move!
Move! When you're hysterical, suffering from hysteria, you can't move. You just got to stand there and take it.
Except that she was moving the whole time.
She was shuffling around this puppeted. How would she not know it was puppeted? But like,
dude, I knew it was puppeted.
Like when he comes out with a contraption, I was like, you know what? Conceptually, I could see that working, but how like no one could see that was puppeteered at that time? That's a different story.
Like,
yeah,
especially like it was in acid before.
Dude, I take it back. He wasn't playing 3D chess. He's playing like 12D chess. Like to have a marionette skeleton that she can't even tell is on strings. This man is like showing Industrial Light and Magic how it's done before these motherfuckers. This
guy was on top of it.
Yeah. Oh man, my favorite part of the movie actually was the banter between his wife and him, like with the waspy comments. So good.
Oh my god,
you're my favorite
dude.
of all my wives.
All the other ones are dead. And it's like, remember that last time you just poisoned
conversation.
Me? Like, oh my god, they're just joking about the last time she poisoned me. Arsenic on the rocks. God.
You'd do it again if you had the chance too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he was like, would you go away for $1 million?
Yeah, I love that part. And she was just like, nah, son. Like, yeah, you want it all, don't you? I deserve it all.
Yep. Straight up listing his bad habits and tendencies. It was really good. Like, if nothing else, that would have probably made the best. Like, they could have spun that scene off into so many different genres. They could have spun that shit off into a romantic comedy. Like, that would have been great.
I'll tell you what.
I'd watch that.
Right?
Any movie with Vincent Price, any monologue he's ever done is so compelling. Like, that whole room monologue, even though he was dialoguing with his wife, like, just all of it. He's so captivating. Every damn scene he's in.
Vincent Price is a horror icon for a good damn reason. That's all I'm saying.
It's just a lot of gravitas in his acting and all the roles that he takes in. Like, so good.
Oh, when the dialogue, she's so amusing, right? When he was talking about, he wanted all these people to come. It was her party. have a haunted house party. She's so amusing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start using that on my wife.
Right?
Here's your gun. I don't need one.
Oh
it was
man,
your idea, dear.
She
was
said
your-
that
yeah.
all the time. Like, I don't need one.
Yeah.
So good.
Which, you know, like in retrospect, watching this movie, you should have been like, wait, what? What do you mean
Like,
you don't need one?
But again,
That's
he was
suspicious
playing.
as hell.
He was playing 12D chess. Remember? Like,
No, I mean as a viewer, like it's
Yeah,
obvious
as a
why
viewer-
he didn't
Yeah.
like, second guess it because he knows. But as a viewer, that's the kind of scene where you don't immediately think about it, but when you think about it in retrospect, you're like, wait, what do you mean no?
One thing that had me cracking up in the beginning is
The old lady on the rolling cart.
oh my god, I love her. I loved her.
Dude,
They only showed
every
like
ti-
twice, and then they were gone the rest of the movie.
I know, dude. Every time she just shows up, I was dying, dude.
Bro, that jump scare in the cellar. Oh my god, it was so great. I loved that so. And she's just on her freaking Segway or whatever.
Dude,
It was
I was
so
cracking
awesome.
up when she just like pops up like that. Scared my wife so bad.
It was great.
Oh my god. That was hysterical. Oh my god. Like after the first one, I was laughing about it. When she came back, I was like, oh no, not the old woman on the trolley. What are you gonna do?
She's a coming.
I love how they just casually explain away, like, oh yeah, it's just the housekeepers. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
that's-
Yeah, she's a housekeeper, and she's blind and deaf or something.
She's
like that?
blind and deaf. Yeah.
So she didn't hear you scream. She was just running around like,
That's just how she looks all the time.
yeah.
She had no
strolling.
idea she was there.
Oh man, that was too good.
How is she taking care of the house? Oh,
Oh my
my
gosh.
god, dude.
So amazing.
Dude, I'm crying.
That's the most horrifying housekeeper ever. I was like, no, you need to fire her immediately. Especially if she's gonna be running around the house and not recognize when someone's next to her. No, hell no. In pitch black, no.
I also love how, like, after they casually explain, like, oh yeah, those are just the housekeepers. At midnight, they're going to leave, cut off the power, cut the phone lines, and lock us all in, so there's no escape. Wait, where'd they go?
Yeah. Bye.
Well, I guess that decision just got made for you guys. Nobody's leaving.
And they had the most reasonable plan out of most horror movies, right? It was, okay, well, people are, I think at that point the wife had already died, and they're like, okay, people are dying. The safest thing for all of us to do is go into our rooms, lock the doors, and then we'll come out in the morning. And that is the most reasonable fucking thing ever.
And then
And
they
then
all
they
just start
immediately-
leaving the rooms.
They immediately start leaving the rooms. Immediately. They can't freaking help themselves.
And I
That's
mean,
the horror movie
in
genre
fairness, the oh god, I'm just gonna call her the Banshee lady.
Yeah.
She leaves because she finds the severed head in her room, right?
Yes.
That
Or
was
is that
no,
before?
that's before. Yeah, that was
That's
before.
She
Actually-
finds it before.
Since I brought that up, dude, she gets over that severed head so fast.
Real quick.
Dude, she's like got the worst case of like ADD I've ever seen.
Well,
She's
she
like,
sees
oh my god! Hey, look, there's a secret tunnel over here. Let's
She
check
sees
this out.
she sees the severed head, runs down, screams, runs downstairs, tells everyone. They go back up, open the suitcase, and the suitcase is empty, or
Well,
like
hold
the
on,
head's gone.
hold on.
So like they're trying
She-
to make her seem like she's crazy.
Yes, that's true. But what actually, you missed the most important part because she screams, runs out of the room, then finds a secret passageway, gets distracted by that, goes downstairs, and doesn't say anything for like 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden, it's like, you guys want to see something? Follow
Yeah.
me. I'll
She's-
show you something.
She spirals back to it after he like basically like, here's all your guns. They're
Yeah.
real. Don't worry about it. And then after that, she spirals back to it. It's like, I got a gun. Everybody's got a gun. Show you why they're important to use now.
I'm the only one who doesn't have a gun.
And the 12D chess move putting blanks in her gun.
Well,
I
we
mean,
don't know that everyone wasn't blanks, do we?
he
doesn't. He doesn't.
only
He
mentions
mention
fires
hers.
one bullet.
Yeah.
He only mentions hers.
He does. I kind of assumed that they were all blanks except that one that he fired. But yeah, I guess he might just be that good. Because, like, what if they... Because he opens up all the little... First of all, I love that he's got tiny coffins for the guns.
They're all
Great
so
touch.
tiny. They're
Great
laid
touch.
just laid, and no one talks about them until he brings them up. If I walked into a room where there were like 7
Yeah.
tiny little coffins
The
neatly
fuck's
displayed,
this?
like that's the first thing I would go to and go, "Hey, what's up with this? You got a rat problem going on?"
When
Like,
you get it,
You
when
got
you get
a rat
invited to,
they do have a rat problem.
when you get
significant
invited
one.
to a haunted mansion by an eccentric millionaire with the promise of money, you let a couple of things slide. You don't ask too many questions.
Oh, you know, what I just noticed the picture that's going to be used for your thumbnail, like the title art. That is not
Yeah.
the house that they were in. The house they were in was ugly as hell. I remember
I need to
thinking
see
about
it.
that. Well, like I remember thinking about the scenes that were briefly showing the house. The house is like it looks super modern. It's blocky. Yeah, here I'll send you a screenshot. It's a hideous
Appreciate
looking
that.
house. It's a freaking ugly house, and it does not look anything like
Oh yeah, that's
the
it.
title.
Yeah.
It looks like some Egyptian architecture.
Bro,
and
it looks
shit,
like a Zelda temple. Like that's my third.
Yeah.
That's my third dungeon right there. Right?
Like, damn it! Now I gotta go into the water temple.
Yeah, that's the water temple. Yeah, that's that's really what's wrong with this movie. It's made in a water
It
temple.
takes place in the water
Oh
temple.
my god. That's still like at the top of everyone's list of the worst game dungeon ever.
It's just a meme to trounce on it now.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
don't even
at this
care.
point in time, but like I've been through it, so I understand
I mean, it's not a good
why everybody
dungeon.
hates
I won't
it. It's
say
not. The design was poor, and like
yeah.
the way they fixed it on the DS, I guess was cool. It's like was good. Like they colored it, and like there was little plaques next to it, like showing you the water level that it would be at.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is like you did that for a port to DS, but you didn't do anything else for like Nintendo 64, GameCube. None of that. None of that. Okay, fine. Fuck you too.
I think people just don't like water mechanics. Well, hold on. They like water mechanics, but like swimming constantly as a mechanic to get to where you need to go, I think that just initially rubs people the wrong way. So like that doesn't help the impression. But total huge segue from what we were talking about. Wow. Like totally got distracted talking about water temples in Zelda.
Speaking of things that were totally distracting, though, was anybody else like, the fuck did she change clothes before getting hung?
Oh no, I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that actually.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
she's
with a-
she's in one outfit, then comes out in this super elaborate, totally different outfit, and then they find her hanging in a third outfit.
I mean, you gotta look nice when you're gonna commit suicide.
I think the explanation was that she had the hanging harness on, right? So first of all, how they didn't find the harness or know that she wasn't hanging by her neck when they pulled her down is another story.
Well, it was only the doctor touched her. That was actually touched upon.
Was he the one that brought her down, or was it
Yes.
not her husband, Frederick?
No. It was the guy. I forgot what he's like the jet pilot. He just untied it where it was tied from where she was hung. The doctor was the one that had her body, moved her to the bed, and was the only one that touched her. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Those nice little touches.
Mm.
Yeah, it explains like why no one else was like, oh, this doesn't seem right. Like, oh, he's a doctor. He's in the medical field. Like, he should know if she's dead or not. We should believe his word.
Yeah, apparently not.
Yeah, and also to that fact, I thought the doctor was in on it with Vincent Price's character from the get-go. Yeah.
Oh.
A little bit more subversion. I was like, wait, what?
This movie is just full of shock, murder, intrigue.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
And
I thought it was going to be those damn caretakers. But
If it wasn't for these damn kids.
That would have been some
Stupid
shit.
dog.
If the murderer, if this movie ended up having a high body count, and at the end of the day, it was the deaf and blind woman that was the freaking caretaker of the house.
She's not even trying to kill anybody. She just keeps
It's just
taking them
pure
out
accident.
on her trolley.
Yeah.
She's like, I've learned to use echolocation.
Here, I'll show you the way back. Take my strong hand.
Please stop.
Oh, dude, that's a 10 out of 10 movie idea. Like she's just rolling around on her stupid trolley and keeps killing people on accident while she's whizzing down the hallway.
I mean, isn't that what is that? It's that one movie, something against evil.
I don't know.
It sounds more like a scary movie like plot, right?
No,
that's what it
actually
sounds like.
No. It's a legit movie that's actually really good. It's basically two country bumpkins, and these teenagers run into them, and they mistake them for like house on the haunted hill. The hills have eyes like murderers.
Yeah.
But like it's all misunderstanding, and like they basically accidentally keep killing themselves. Damn, what's the name of the movie?
Think, John. Think.
I'm trying to. Damn. Let's see.
Faster, John. We only have all night.
Shut your. Just. And Dale. Here it is. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
No idea what that is.
So 1 out of 10 title is what that is.
But it's actually been like heralded and loved by critics and people who watch the movie. Like ratings are pretty good. Here, I'll show you the trailer. Here you go. Boop. Boop boop.
All right, I'll check that out later.
But yeah, like that's basically what you just described.
You know what kills me about this movie though? When they think Mrs. Lauren is dead and they're like all in the living room area. I don't know what we're going to call that room. But they're all just hanging out there and they're like, "Well, Mr. Lauren obviously killed her." "I don't know, man. Could have been somebody else in here." It could have been somebody else. What the fuck do you mean it could have been somebody else in here? Who other than Mr. Lauren would have any motivation to kill his wife in any way? They make a point in saying that these are total strangers. They don't know who she is. Why would they randomly hang his wife? They stand to gain absolutely nothing.
Look, in times of spook, it's hard.
Times of spook? What does that even? No, I'm just gonna leave it alone.
When you deal with some high spook levels, it's hard to think straight. I think
the spook in here is getting out of control.
You could cut the spook with a knife. It's so thick in here.
Please stop. Stop overusing it, please.
Oh my god!
This is the only month I can use this word, so I'm gonna.
Times of spook. It's the only month you can use it.
This is the month of spook.
This is the month of spook. This is a spooky month. Go on Reddit. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's literally subreddits dedicated to spooky boys.
Spooky boy month?
No,
Spooky
drop
boys?
the Y. Just spook.
Just spook.
It's extra spook this month.
Extra spook.
Extra
yes.
spook.
Oh my god.
That's right. The sitting room. It's called the sitting room. Dean, that's where they all were. Back in the fancy days, rich people have
the olden
rooms.
times.
Yeah. Nowadays we just have living rooms, which we do everything in. But they had special rooms for sitting. They had tea rooms. They had family rooms, entertainment rooms, rooms for everything, including spooks. There were spook rooms. It was very popular in the 50s. They had.
Please stop.
Don't go in there. That's my spook room.
That's my spook.
That's my spook room.
We only opened it on October 31st. Don't go in there.
Don't go in the spook room.
There's a sign on the door like, "Do not open until October 31st."
Why can't I open this? That's spook room.
No, don't open it.
We don't-
You'll let the spooks out.
You let the spooks out, boy.
You guys keep adding endings to this where it's just spook. You let the spook out.
Okay, you'll let the spook out. Fine.
Extra spook.
There's no plural. Spook in itself is plural.
It is singular and plural at the same time.
God, he's making the rules for it. God damn it.
Call Webster.
Oh,
Yes,
Jesus.
Mr. Webster. I need you to remove the S and the Y from all forms of spook. Yes,
All
yes. I've
forms of
decided that spook is
I've
in itself a plural.
Spook
You
is
know,
the only
I
way.
mean, English is a living language, my friends. We could make this a thing.
Oh,
Hey.
shit. Nope. I'm not joining that.
It be like that, though.
I'm not
You
joining
don't want to
that
double
campaign.
down on the spook?
Fucking shit,
Bro.
But this movie is full of spook, man.
no. Please stop.
Speaking of spook, dude, I got
Fucking hate you.
Dude, they
I got-
manhandled that head in the closet. Just random thought. I was just thinking it. Like, if he
Yeah.
saw the
That's-
head in the closet, like, he was
That's
so...
what I was gonna bring up. Like,
Really?
he sees the head and he just goes, "You know what? I'm taking this."
God,
What?
shit, damn head.
He's
He's like,
just
just rips it off. He's so
rolling around.
mad.
Which, I mean, in fairness, when you know that he's in on the whole thing, makes sense. But when you're watching it, you're like, "Wait, he just
No, that
casually reaches in there and grabs this spook."
wasn't Frederick that did that. That was Lance.
Jet pilot. Yeah, Lance.
Yeah.
That's such a manly name.
Lance.
Wasn't that? I thought that was Mr. Lauren.
No,
He
it
did
was
hold
not.
the head afterwards, but who brought it from the upstairs room down? It was Lance. He saw it in the
that doesn't
closet.
make any sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, he saw it in the closet, and he's like, "Oh, there's a spook head," and he grabbed it, and he's like, he's pissed off at it, and he just like whips it downstairs,
just
and he
flailing it
slams
around.
and then they just like slam it on the table, like it's just sitting on the table in the sitting room, which is, we've established the sitting room is no place for spook. There's only one spook room. That is that right
Fuck,
there
you're gonna
was
wear this shit out so hard. I
that
hate
was
you guys
definitely
so
against
much.
spook etiquette. Let's be real here.
There's,
so bad.
There's definitely time for some brandy down in the sitting room.
Oh my god, plenty of time. I mean, like
So much.
there's
brandy.
only time. Like after every major, like, oh guys, we walked 10 feet. Let me get a drink. Lots of brandy. Lots of
Oh,
glasses.
the brandies.
All the brandy, especially Baxter, who was a little heavy on the brandy. No, not Baxter. Watson, excuse me, a little heavy on the brandy. Maybe a little too much brandy. But he was the one that just was freaking out the whole night. You know, the owner of the house, who he owns the
What was it?
house, but he still knows there's ghosts in it. He's like terrified of it. Just sell the damn house, dude. Just get rid of it.
What was it? Mr. Pritchard, the guy who's the whole movie's going on about
Yeah,
how
Watson,
all
yeah.
the ghosts.
Yeah, Watson Pritchard.
I love that guy, dude. He's like sitting in the sitting room with his gun. It's like, "Don't come over here, man. There's too much spook in this house. I won't be having no spook in the sitting room."
It's his house, dude. Sell the house, bro. If you can't handle it, just sell the damn house. And your freaking housekeepers aren't helping either. They're adding to the spook.
Oh my god, those housekeepers.
Get rid of the triple spook housekeepers, man.
Yeah, seriously, get rid of your thriller music video freaking housekeepers. Find some newer ones, man.
Oh my god, dude.
I thought it
So-
was funny with him in the beginning of the movie where he has his monologue talking about the house and the number of spooks.
Spook.
The number of spook. Yes, thank you, Dean.
You're welcome.
Fucking shit.
He's looking at the camera and he's supposed to be like conveying, you know, despair or concern, but really he just looks confused. And I was laughing. I was just laughing when I was watching his face during that because he just looked confused. Like it was like he was reading a monologue to a camera, but he had never seen a camera before.
And he had never seen the dialogue.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I
You're right.
saying this?
He was all
Like he didn't know he was making a movie at all. Just like, why the fuck am I reading this?
love it, loved it. And then everyone came in hearses.
Yeah.
Because his wife, she's a music.
Thought it would be hilarious.
Thought it would be hilarious. And then she hated the whole evening. Like, I kind of understand where he was coming from that evening. Now, they're both terrible people, but she was, he had to force her down, and she was originally wearing a getup that he didn't seem appropriate, which is totally 1950s kind of bullshit, father or husband shit to say, right? Like, I would never.
Well, she was wearing like a nightgown, man.
Was it a nightgown? I'm so 2020 that I don't know what a nightgown in the 1950s looked like.
Yeah,
Dude,
she was wearing a nightgown, man.
It looks like something someone would wear now, kind of. It's hard to...
Because it probably is.
Yeah, it's been freaking 50 years.
Dude, just because... Jordan, what
sorry.
year do you think it is?
Sorry, oh, God. Oh, too much
It's
spook.
okay.
Oh, I can't think.
Too much spook to think.
Oh, God. Spook plus spook equals...
Spook.
So it's just more O's. The more spook there is, the more O's you add to the word.
It's exponential, really.
I can't stand you two, I swear.
It's not double spook, it's quadruple spook.
Yeah, we'll rate our horror movies by the number of O's in the word spook, and that's our rating system for the next 3 episodes.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna give this a spook out of spook.
Oh my god, dude. I can't anymore. I'm broken.
You're just done.
Oh, having just watched, so this is totally random, but having just watched Avatar like a few months ago, when Lance finds the freaking tunnel, like the secret tunnel, I'm like, secret tunnel. Like, I just started singing that.
That doesn't have quite enough spook for me, my friend.
No, that is anti-spook, definitely. I don't know what would be anti-spook right now. I can't think of the antithesis of spook.
You know what's not the antithesis of spook? Skeletons coming up out of vats of acid.
Yo!
Yeah. Dude,
spook.
I don't get how that worked, because wouldn't the acid eat away at what was holding up the marionette skeleton? Like, that's what I would think.
You're damn... Oh, actually...
Or just the skeleton itself?
I think you're damn right. To be honest, Sean, I think you're absolutely freaking right. But
I would give that statement a spook out of 10.
There was a weird line in the movie early on when they were explaining the vat of acid and talking about what it would erode, and they're like, it erodes all hair, hair, flesh, and blood, and leaves nothing but bones. So sure, I guess that makes sense how you could rig up some kind of wacky ass contraption like this.
I mean, again, this man is playing 12D chess, man. Like
12D chess.
He really is. Like,
he's got this like 5-brain plan out of the year 2097 that they were not ready for.
They designed that that like newest super AI that like beat the world championship at Go. They designed that AI around this character because that's just the level he was at.
It's not an AI at all. It's just his brain implanted into a machine.
It's literally Frederick Lauren in the machine hating his wife and playing Go. That's all he knows.
That's extra spook.
Lots of spook.
Oh my god.
Just a fictional man's brain is in a machine now.
You guys deserve each other, I swear to God.
Just yelling at just yelling at people for wearing nightgowns and just being spook.
Just being spook.
But I wanted to mention like how much I love that scene. First of all, it looks great. Like for a 1959 film, like that's an incredible effect. And the fact that he's got this like absolutely ridiculous marionette string thing going on. He's just like somehow low-key strapped to himself. First of all, how did he go from murdering this guy in the pit of acid to then like stringing up
this contraption?
This contraption, but to what I can only assume is that man's skeleton. either that or it's a fake skeleton that he also put in the vat of acid. But then where did the other guy's skeleton go? Because we know it doesn't eat away bones.
Yes.
So in the time it took for them to get down there, he had murdered this guy and then rigged his skeleton up to this string system that he's put in the basement because he knew all of this was going to happen, hid himself, and then played out his little spook festival.
His spook parade. Yeah,
His spook show.
well, we don't have to understand it because we're only playing 3D chess. That's all we have.
True. I need at least 4 more brains to get on his level.
Yeah, I mean,
At least
4 more brains or at least 3 times as much skeleton, and I don't have either.
3 times as much skill.
Yeah, I mean, because
Or
the more bones, the smarter. We just know.
or at least 3 times as much spook.
Yes, absolutely. And although I do have my house decorated with some pumpkins and some phantoms and jack-o'-lanterns and other spook things, I still feel like an idiot. So I'm nowhere near that level at all.
Yeah.
Not
I
even
agree.
close.
I thought I was decorating for Halloween, but then my wife told me that throwing candy corn all over the floor doesn't count as decorating, so I don't know what
Stupid.
Just
Apparently they get stuck to the bottom of your shoes and it just becomes more of a nuisance than a decoration. Who knew?
Maybe you don't want animals and young kids eating them.
It's just honey. They'll be fine.
Okay. Well, there we go.
I feel like I deserve at least 1 spook for the attempt.
No, you deserve 0 spooks. I hate both of you spooks. You motherfucking spook bitch spooks. Fuck you.
That
Wow.
sounded kind of racist. I'm not gonna lie. Like
It
kinda hurt
totally
my
did.
feelings.
A little dark there,
But it's not
buddy. Come
racist
on.
because I'm saying it. So spook you and spook you, Dean.
It's 2020, John. Come on. We're just having
My god, dude!
we're just having some spook here. We're not.
Fucking shit.
Just
So,
take a
Making
sip
it
of
sound
this spook.
so casual.
For some reason,
Like,
the
Ugh.
second time after she after the wife Annabelle was like shown hanging outside the window, and that whole scene happened with Nora and everything. And when Nora ran out the room and she had her back against the wall, remember when the hand came around and was like trying to tell her to like get out or whatever?
Yeah.
Was that
the other caretaker?
That was the caretaker, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All I
wife
thought
of the.
all I thought was Shrek hand, like Shrek hand just come around the side. Like you got Shrek hand telling you to leave his mud pit. You're in danger, and then she immediately runs into the sitting room again or another room, and then of course, like the second the camera showed the organ, I'm like, here we go, Haunted Mansion. This is gonna happen right now, and sure as shit, organ starts playing itself. I'm like, awesome. I'm in the 50s. This feels right. And like that was like really when she snapped, when she went full manic, when the spook level was just too much. Some people can't take
Full
that
hysteria.
Much spook.
Yeah.
Some people just can't take that much spook. It's a medical term. She was over spooked. I think it's called hyper spooked. So
Can we just take a second to consider how the caretaker lives with a woman who, I mean, is ostensibly alive, but rigor mortis has already set in? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like their relationship is probably a little spook.
Hey, she gets around.
Ugh.
She's pretty
Yeah,
mobile.
she sure does.
She was pretty mobile in the movie.
Make it stop.
Dude, I would love it if like you see like the behind the scenes and she's just like on a skateboard the whole time.
Tony Hawk before Tony Hawk.
Just doing sick kick flips, bro.
Mm-hmm. She's actually originated like most of the original skateboard tricks.
Now I'm thinking about it though, Jordan. Like which hand are you talking about? Are you talking about the time when like the the hand comes down the wall and grabs her, and like it's the caretaker telling her to get out.
Yeah, that
Or the
one.
one that's like the bear that like reaches around the side of the door.
I think it's the one that like goes over her like chest and like mouth. It's like a huge freaking hand.
Her mouthy chest.
I'm trying to yes.
Cause it happens twice. The first time is definitely the caretaker. The second time though, it looks like a wild animal or something, like
a
Bigfoot
crazy...
broke into the spook house.
Yeah, I know. I think it was the second time that I'm commenting on because it looks so crazy that I just thought Shrek for some reason. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
here comes Shrek hand, you know?
I think that's another one of the things that they didn't explain.
Maybe it was I don't know, a prop or something. I don't know.
I think the female caretaker is a prop. Like there's like that's not a real person.
That's definitely
oh my goodness, I forgot the quality of these severed heads. You want to talk about those special effects?
Oh, actually, yeah, dude. I thought the same thing when I was watching that movie.
Like it's clearly paper mache. Like it's
it is, but like in the context of 1959, it's actually pretty convincing.
Really?
You don't think so?
Not on a 75-inch 4K TV, no. But maybe.
Look at my big ass TV. Maybe. I'm so rich.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe
stop. He's not even saying it like that.
Maybe back then watching it either in in a theater with a smaller screen or something. I don't know. Maybe it would look a little more convincing. But especially with the second head when they were whipping it around everywhere and plopping it on the table, like it was clearly visible. That one took me out of it a little bit. I mean, the whole movie took me out of it. Let's be honest. But like that part specifically was pretty out there.
I don't know, man. Like I don't think that they sit on the severed head for long enough for it to. Well, I mean, maybe they do because you noticed, but I didn't. Like
it didn't marinate well.
No, like I felt like they show it to you for a second. I was like, oh, that's severed head, and then they just kind of move on. So does the character because she forgets about it immediately. But that's neither here nor there.
She's just okay. All right, cool. Next.
Oh my god, that was a severed. Hey, look at the kitty. Dude, Nora cracks me up, man. The way that she's freaking out the whole time, except when she's not.
Super right, like the conversations with her and Lance, like she's listening. He's got a plan, and they're just like she's super cool when they're talking. Outside of that, she's a screaming mess.
Yeah, it's so true.
It is so great.
She's just like a hot mess 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, she's the most level-headed character in the movie.
Did you see the second twist coming? Like think back to either when you first saw it or John when you just saw it now. Like the first twist is okay, well the wife and the doctor are in cahoots to kill the husband. And then oh my goodness, the husband fakes his death. Well, at the time you think it's a real death because she shoots him. Did you think that that's a twist? Like did you expect another layer on top of that?
When I can't speak for John, but like when he rolls him over to the vat of acid and then it cuts, I was like, nah, he just got dude.
Yeah.
Me and my wife both looked at each other. It's like, nah, dude, like you just got.
Yeah. You don't make that kind of a cut without a gat.
Yeah,
somebody like,
that's a gotcha cut.
Yeah, exactly. Someone took an L.
That's a big old spook cut.
Yo, spook cuts. Movie was full of them.
Fucking shit. God damn it.
The best spook cut, I know we talked about it, but God, I love it, is the first time you see the woman caretaker introduced, man. They just pan over to her head and she just, you know. I love that.
Just sneaks out of the dark and then goes back into it.
Yeah, that was the best introduction for a character of all time. Just this like rigor mortis, ostensibly alive woman just kind of rolls up on you. and then just rolls away.
Literally, like on a
Hello.
skateboard,
Goodbye.
just rolls away. Like someone just pulling us. Like, all right, come on. Maybe she
I'm like
never
sitting
leaves.
there. I was like, is it supposed to do something? What is it about to do? And then just goes back into the darkness. I was like, all right,
Oh, there it goes.
all right then. It's
Like-
it's gone. It's gone.
She's like a human Zubat. She's always in the darkness, always there.
She was like a scared cat or something. Like she's just, oh, I'm just gonna walk into. Back away slowly.
It's like,
But then again,
I heard a
she-
noise.
But then again, she's blind, deaf, and dumb. So who knows, man?
Yeah, like I don't even know, like what? How does she get around the house? She doesn't have a stick or anything. She just runs around until she hits something and then turns a corner.
She uses echolocation, man, like a dolphin.
That's the thing. She can't hear when the echo comes back.
She can feel it.
Fucking shit.
She's learned.
No.
It's like Daredevil. She's learned to
No, she
adapt. You
can't.
know.
She got hit
No.
by acid when she was a young spook.
Yo, the same acid that's there. She
Fuck
survived it.
no.
We found
That's
the real
where the
cannon.
acid came from. She keeps
Stop
the acid in
connecting
the
the
basement
dots.
because it's the source of her power.
Bro, it's like her
Stop
Lazarus
connecting
pit.
the dots. Jesus Christ.
this is the secret origin of Daredevil. This was his great grandmother.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know that Marvel originally intended for House on Haunted Hill to be a freaking prequel to Daredevil.
You guys deserve each other. I swear to God.
6 degrees to House on Haunted Hill. Oh my god, dude.
You both disgust me.
Disgust me.
Oh, not as much as that skeleton disgusted. What's her face? What I was gonna say Nora, but it's not Nora. Mrs. Lauren.
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She just, I mean, the most unconvincing spook attack I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, she just,
That skeleton just kind of casually walks up and like, goodbye.
it's like he's having, it's like the skeleton's trying to have a conversation. He's like, hey, come here, I have something to tell you.
Yeah, I just want to.
Hey,
Psych!
Just screaming. At the
It's
top
like-
of her lungs.
It's like when you're hanging out at the pool and like that one person who doesn't want to go in, they're fully clothed, and you just like walk over and hey, shove.
I love it. I love it. And then for him to come out with the contraption and everything, it was so perfect.
Dude, that skeleton makes the entire movie for me. I'm sorry, like that's
It was one of the things that stuck out to me so much when I was younger and I watched this movie. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, we were all yelling at the screen when we were watching it. We are like, what are you doing? Run! Like, it was so great.
Why are you standing there?
don't go upstairs. Wait, no, she's in the basement. Go upstairs.
Spooky basement. And then-
Spooky basement.
And I think at the end of the movie, I forgot who said it, but oh no, it was Watson again. He's like, oh, we've added 2 more ghosts to the house, and he was talking about how, like, you know, they'll always come for you or whatever. He's like, and they'll come for you too. Like, that's how it kind of ended a little bit. I can't remember the exact line, but it was classic 1950s horror movie. Like, it was so tropey at that point, and I think it was done intentionally, of course, just to be
Yeah.
like that. Like, oh, they're gonna come for you too. He's hitchhiking ghosts. Oh, and
Just don't take one home with you.
oh my god, did you see in the credits the skeleton is credited and it says skeleton : himself?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't watch the credits.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
he's freaking accredited. The skeleton, it just says himself. Oh, here it is. Here, I found a picture of it. It says skeleton by himself. Yeah, here at the very bottom. So awesome, so freaking awesome.
Oh, that gets 12 spooks out of 10 spooks.
Loved it. I had such a great
Jesus.
time watching this movie. It's such a fun. It's a quick movie. It's like an hour 15-ish. You know, It's such a
Yeah.
fun, spook-filled movie. It was a blast. I really do
hate
enjoy
both of you
this.
so much.
John, you
It's-
liked it, right?
It's the
I
first.
mean, I like the movie. It's just the fact that you're like destroying the word spook on purpose.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Like, is there any better way to describe the spook in this movie?
I want to slap the shit out of both.
I mean, this is the first movie in the stardom that is Skeleton, the king of spook.
Unfortunately, we've established Spook is a returning character in our conversation, and this will be here for the next 2 episodes as well. So this is we've made sure to establish a meme early. That way we can abuse it, and by the end of the month, you'll want to kill us if you don't already.
Dude, I think it wants to
I'm
kill us
already
already.
I'm already there. 100% already there.
Oh my god. Gentlemen, is there anything else you wanted to bring up for this movie before we wrap up this week?
I respect Vincent Price so much after watching this that I've actually started looking at other movies that I would want to watch that have Vincent Price in. Like he's
Oh yeah.
an amazing actor and like way ahead of his time in my opinion.
He stood out throughout his entire career. Stood out, and he was a freaking he was a giant among men for sure. I really haven't seen a Vincent Price movie. Now I haven't gone looking far, but I haven't seen a Vincent Price movie that I really haven't enjoyed.
Yeah.
So because he kind of just makes those movies, and
True.
they casted and they wrote the movie around his character, knowing he was going to be in it, and they're usually a lot of fun to watch. So I would recommend watching this movie. Anyone who's listening to this who hasn't seen the movie, it's not that long. It's a fun spook-filled romp, and it's
Fucking
just
shit.
it's a great classic.
You guys deserve each other.
So I'm gonna ask you, Jordan, how many spook out of 10 do you give this movie?
All right, bye guys.
Woo! No, John, I need you to hear my spook rating. Please don't go. Please stay, John. I need you to hear my
It's
spook
so
rating.
painful.
I need you to hear it. Oh my
I
God.
need you to bear witness and notarize my spook rating for this movie.
Ugh.
I give this how many spooks? Like out of 5 spooks, I think, right? So we said
I mean,
out of
it can
5
be
spooks.
as many spook as you want.
Thank you. I'm the more spook the better. So I'm saying that this is
so much.
this is 46 out of 24 spook, and it's
I like that.
yeah, definitely a high
Jesus Christ.
definitely a high rating. It's a great movie.
Jumped to Dragon Ball Boo Saga
We're
power
in,
scaling.
I was gonna say, yeah,
where it doesn't make any sense.
we're in the Boo Saga, and I'm not Gohan. That's what I just did.
But
I think for me personally, I would have to give this movie a. I think this movie gets a spook out of spook.
Ooh, wow, nice. I think
What
I
about
heard
you, John?
I think I heard about
kill me
20
now.
25 O's in that. That's good. Good rating.
In the show.
Come on, John. What's your spook
Come on, I
rating?
need a
Come
spook
on. We
rating,
need a
man.
spook.
This is Spooktober.
Oh my god. It gets 4 out of 5 spooks. So you happy now?
I mean,
happy?
you made it plural when it doesn't need to be, but we'll accept
I'm
your
just
spook
saying,
rating.
Shit.
satisfied, but not necessarily happy. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I agree with this assessment. I need you to step up your spook game for
Yeah.
Spooktober week 2.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a spook.
So, next week
You're both assholes.
Next week is not only the continuation of Spooktober, but our first double feature. It's going to be a good one as we hit The Shining and Dr. Sleep. Or Dr. Spook.
Fucking shit.
As always, before we go, if you enjoyed this and you're on YouTube, be sure to drop us a like and subscribe as we drop a new episode every week. If you're enjoying us on your favorite podcast service, drop us a review. It really helps us out. Don't forget to come and chat with us in the Discord. And as always, have fun out there, guys.